if Diddy supposedly held footages, and there's one report, there's one report, and chat, we're going to get to that. It's a New York Post article where there was a federal source who supposedly claimed they had some, knowledge of the investigation, and they claimed that, some of the surveillance footage that they got and what they found in some of the raids is that some rooms were strictly meant for sexual activity, and that there were, angles and ways that people were being filmed that they definitely would not know they were being filmed from.
Yeah.
Well, when you think about that, that sounds like a serious charge already. If you're filming sexual activity, even if it's consensual, but and maybe that's a state thing. I don't know how the federal government sees it. It's like when you record someone's phone call, right? In certain places, it's a one-party consent. In certain places, it's two-party. You need both people to consent to it.
Yeah.
But again, I'm pretty sure filming someone sexually, but that also might be a little bit different because if it's within his residence, what I've learned is that supposedly, as long as you're not using it for blackmail or you're not putting it out, that might not be legal. How do you treat that situation? Because we keep hearing about there might be video proof of the freak off, but we're not seeing charges that essentially charge this guy with filming supposed non-consensual sexual activity.
Yeah, no, that's a good question. And I think the reason why you're not seeing federal charges for that is because
like if they're minors, right? Because child is usually that's the one that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so if they're underage, that's a different game. Now the feds can come in. But if it's adults, consensual sex between two adults, it's gonna pretty much go to the state. Hell, even if it's gonna more likely go to the state. But that's probably why they're not charging. And the other thing too is, Diddy can make the claim that everyone that came into my house knows that I record everything. A lot of these artists, a lot of these, wealthy people, they make these women sign NDAs when they show up. So in the NDA, it might say, hey, I have a right to record every single part of the house and you're going to be under surveillance. So, that's another way to kind of get around it. But I think the reason why it's not being raised to a federal issue is because typically voyeurism or recording people during sexual acts is like a state thing, because some states are one party, some states are two party, etc. It's not really a federal issue unless like children are involved.
Yeah, chat. This was one of the infamous Diddy parties from 6 years ago. I can't. This might have been his 50th birthday, right? Like, this is what year is this? This is 2018. Yeah, this is 2018.
He's like 59, right?
Yeah, Diddy's he's 54. He was born in 1969, so he's turning 55 this year. So that would have been like his 49th birthday.
Yeah, that would have been like his 49th or 50th birthday. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Again, obviously, and I think a lot of people are misinformed about his freak off shit. Like, these aren't the freak offs. This is just a regular over the top party that's sponsored by Ciroc.
Yeah.
The freak off is like, it's like Baby Oil Central. If niggas ain't like, you ever slip down a bowling aisle? If it ain't going like that, 1,000 bottles, come on.
Yeah, bro.
Hey, by the way, on this, we don't know if, again, this is New York Post. I did want to point this one part out. And we still haven't seen this in the indictment. This is what the source said, right? The source said that and I'm reading it, you see two people you wouldn't think of be hooking up, rappers. That was what shocked me, the dealer told the Post. I won't say names, but they were rappers that I immediately lost respect for and could not take them serious ever again. The people, the drug peddler added that many people at the party, which included a mix of female rappers and hookers, were already high on ketamine and GHB. This is a very interesting point that I've heard many people repeat, but how do you prove this 20 years later? They're saying Diddy had these parties and he drugged drinks. Now, if there's no toxicology report, there's no, like, is that hearsay? Like, how can we prove that Diddy was spiking drinks?
Yeah, that's going to be a piece of evidence that, and that's a great thing that you pose, right? And this is also where his defense can kind of come in and fight this. A fact like that is going to be heavily reliant upon other witnesses corroborating it, right? So what more than likely happened is the HSI special agent spoke to a bunch of different people that attend these parties. And each of them, right? Remember, you're interviewing each of them at different times. So one day you interview witness 1, another day you interview witness 2, another day you interview witness 4, 5, 3, whatever the fuck it is, right? And if all of them say, yo, when I was there, this dude had GHB and cocaine, etc., and they all corroborate it independently, right? Because again, they don't know that the fact that you spoke to the other individual, they're just telling you what they saw, then that adds credence and credibility to each witness because they've all independently corroborated the same facts. So that's how you kind of get around the whole, was he in possession of drugs or not? Because you got a bunch of witnesses saying that the same exact drugs were there.
By the way, also this article leads with the headline that says featuring gay rappers, but we're not hearing men. I mean, there's some guys that obviously Lil Rod is saying he was sexually assaulted, but like he never said he got penetrated. We're not hearing men saying that they were, like by Diddy, and I'm not shooting him no bail, but we just like we've always heard the rumors of with Diddy. We're not seeing it though. Like honestly, we're not seeing the men, and it might be the men are just not making the allegations, right? Like
or they're hiding and they don't want to go public yet because it's so embarrassing. That's another option too. They might have testified at the grand jury, right? But they're not like going public, public to the general public. But when Diddy's defense attorneys, which I'm sure by now they probably have a majority of the discovery, Diddy's team is going to look through and see.
Wait, do you think they've got it already?
Yeah,
they're supposed to have a pre-trial conference on 24th.
They probably have a significant amount of the discovery already guaranteed, because like I said before, when I'm going into the grand jury room to testify, my AUSA already has all the documents she needs or he needs for trial, pretty much. A lot of AUSAs don't like to indict until they got like damn near 80% of the stuff they need for trial. So they've probably already started the discovery process, and Diddy's defense team probably already has a significant amount of it.
Hey, by the way, Chad, I'll read this other article, which again, New York Post, they have these sources. This one happens to be, it says, and let me read this. I want to hear your reaction to it. One of the Department of Homeland Security agents who helped to raid Diddy's Florida abode claimed the music mogul had rooms that were clearly dedicated to sex with all cameras around. So if you were in the sex party, this is a direct quote, you were being recorded from every possible angle, including angles you wouldn't even have known about, the source said. Referring to the sometimes day-long orgies he called freak-offs, where drugged-up victims were allegedly forced to have sex with male prostitutes, it says, and this is the agent again, in my opinion, he's as bad as Jeffrey Epstein. The source added about the late pedophile who hung himself behind bars. It says, these women are young, either barely legal or barely illegal. Internally, officers said that they see a lot of similarities between Combs and Epstein, the well-connected financier who served time for trafficking dozens of girls in New York and Florida. Epstein was awaiting trial on additional charges, but he died in his jail cell in 2019.
Yeah, what fucked Epstein up was that all the girls were underage. That's what fucked Epstein up.
What do you think would have happened if maybe they weren't?
Probably a very weak case.
Really?
Yeah, a very weak case. Yeah, because he was flying these chicks around to, like, keep in mind, he had plenty of homes. He had homes he had West Palm Beach. He had a huge place in New Mexico. He had obviously his infamous house in New York City. Like he had the island, etc. So he was flying these girls all around on his private jets and shit like that. So if they were adults, bro, he would have been able to have a pretty strong defense that it was consensual. But what fucked Epstein up is that he recruited young girls and kind of groomed them when they were young to like fuck his rich and powerful friends, and that's what got him jacked up, is dealing with underage girls. And that's what gives the feds jurisdiction a lot of times, is the girls are underage and they're being transported interstate. But I got like a minute, bro, and then I got to get off because Fresh wants to stream and he's complaining.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Chat, any questions for Myron? By the way, definitely, anytime you hop on my stream when we're talking about shit like this, you always give so much valuable information.
Absolutely, bro. I love it, man. Like I said, if it wasn't for, doing a podcast and shit like that, bro, I would have never left and resigned. It was literally one of the best jobs ever. It was fun. And I'm very passionate about it. I'm sure you guys could tell from the way I speak about it. But the reason why I know all this shit is because, like, I worked really hard when I was an agent. So, like, I got to learn all this shit through experience.
Okay, one last question,
Sure.
still multi-parted. This question I have it written down that I'll eventually ask Bradford Cohen, a very notorious defense attorney, but I do want to hear your take on it.
Sure.
So, on a lawyer legal side of it, you have civil complaints and then you have a criminal. Clearly, the criminal is going to be the most important thing. It's the
Yeah.
reason why he's locked up.
Yep.
A civil case can be drawn out for years, or it could even be just waived because it's frivolous and just doesn't mean anything. Here's the interesting part, as the last thing he's gotten is not a civil case, it's a criminal case,
Mm-hmm.
which now, if we are in the belief that maybe this investigation was spurred off of a civil litigation, should Diddy almost like, try to drag the civil stuff out, or should he settle? Or because here's the thing, if new people are jumping into the civil market, they all want money,
Yep.
but they're coming with additional investigation leads that the prosecutor could be like, oh, let's go talk to this person. We just read this new civil filing, or oh shit, they know the person, or they have a video of this. How do you think? I'll ask you from the agent perspective. Would you be still number one? Are you done with the case after you hand it to the AUSA? And number two, are you looking at these new civil filings to get additional leads as you either try to go for additional indictments or bolster the case for the AUSA?
That's a great question. So this is a double-edged problem, right? There's a double-edged sword. So on one hand, these people are coming with civil cases, which means that they have an axe to grind. They know Diddy personally. They can be a good witness, and they probably have some intimate knowledge that can help you on your criminal case. However, the fact that they're launching a civil case and trying to get money and recuperate from damages, etc., also hurts their credibility to a degree. Because what the defense is going to say is, yo, well, these people, of course, are going to tell you what you want to hear and cooperate because they want to get money. They have an axe to grind with this individual. They want revenge, right? Are they really victims? These people went ahead and they consensually had sex with him, and now they want to come back and jump on the fucking bandwagon and make some money because everyone else is suing this guy. So, yes, you are getting individuals that are kind of coming forward and allows the feds to kind of go identify them and talk to them, but them launching a civil suit does hurt their credibility a little bit. So, so it's a double-edged sword in that regard, I would say.